Hello, Mary. How are you? It's good to see you again.
Hello again, Sasha. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. How have you been, or anything you'd like
I'm
to?
okay. I'm okay. Happy you could see me through telehealth today. It was kind of a last minute thing, I know.
Mhm.
I didn't have a way to get to you, so this really helps me out.
Great, no problem. I'm so happy we could make this happen for you today.
I've been looking forward to our next visit. I've been feeling a little down lately, but trying to stay optimistic.
Okay, well, I see, and as I've mentioned before, I'm here to help you, and addressing your feelings is a big part of that journey. Now, I do want to clarify a few things with you before we get started. I know we've gone over some of this already. But for confidentiality reasons, I want you to know that as a social worker, I will keep what you say to me and not share any of it with anyone else. However, there are some exceptions to that. They include if I believe you're harming yourself or the potential to harm another person. In some cases, confidentiality can be broken in those cases. It's also mandatory that I report child abuse or neglect or abuse of neglect of a vulnerable adult. Do you have any questions concerning confidentiality or our practice guidelines?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, great. Also, you have the right to refuse any of my questions at any time. If you ever feel uncomfortable or want to discontinue this session, please let me know.
I will do. Thank you.
You are very, very welcome. And I just want to go over, since our last meeting, we discussed some of the key issues.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. Okay.
The recording has stopped.
It's okay. You're very welcome. I just want to go over a little bit from our last meeting. We discussed some of the key issues surrounding your life and with chronic pain and established some goals working towards a happier and healthier you and state of mind. Is there anything you'd like to add for today's meeting?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know you mentioned that you were feeling a little down. Would you like to talk a little bit more about that?
It's just been a little stressful. As we talked about, the pain makes it hard to do almost anything.
Yeah.
I've always feel like I'm a burden, and my daughter and I got into a little fight just a few days ago. It really makes it easy to feel lousy.
I understand when we're confronted with situations of stress, finding a place of peace can be very difficult. And I know in your situation, being confronted with any type of conflict with your daughter intensifies some of those fears that you hold when it comes to your relationship.
Yes, very much so. It just makes it so easy to fixate on those negative feelings. When you mentioned my feelings of unworthiness at our last meeting, I later found myself understanding it a bit differently. And on a new level, it is hard to accept my life now. And trying to figure out how that relates to my relationship with my daughter can be hard. I swear, when things go a little bad, it feels so bad, Sasha.
I understand you've been through quite a lot lately. You feel anxious and uncertain.
That's the understatement of the year. It just makes me feel like I'm even more of a burden. And I'm not allowed to express myself because of my situation.
So, when you say you're not allowed to express yourself, do you think that's related to your feelings of unworthiness?
I guess so. Yes. It's just very hard to feel like I have to walk on eggshells all the time and I don't have a voice because I'm not contributing. I know my daughter does the best that she can, absolutely, to understand and help, and I'm thankful, but I'm just not used to being in this situation.
Well, feeling as if you're not worthy can manifest into some negative thoughts and thought patterns leading to feelings of self doubt and inadequacy. When we talked about your feelings about your life with chronic pain, we discussed its somewhat sudden nature. And with so much change, your feelings of doubt are completely valid.
Thank you. It's nice to hear. So I'm not completely crazy.
No, you are not crazy. Not crazy at all. You're going through some pretty significant life changes. and it's completely normal to feel uncertain and confused.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I guess looking from the outside, I can see how my experience can make me feel this way.
See, that's great. Giving yourself grace is a large part of healing. Being understanding to yourself and your situation really is necessary.
I understand, but it can be so hard to do sometimes.
Yes, it can. And when we have a poor self image, it can be hard to see any positive aspects in our lives.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
So, going back to our previous session, we talked about those feelings and some of the ways we can work to achieving solutions. Would you feel comfortable addressing those goals?
Yes, please. I actually have some of the documents you requested with me now.
Oh, wonderful. I really appreciate your help with that. That's something we will come back to shortly. So, when discussing your feelings of unworthiness, we talked about your association of worth and what you can and can't do for others. Your inability to contribute has made you feel like you're a burden since you feel like you have nothing to offer.
Absolutely, yes. It's a hard pill to swallow. It is.
I understand. And as part of our plan to address those concerns, we talked about identifying negative thoughts and using personal strengths to overcome these thought patterns. Would you feel comfortable talking about some ways we can help that?
I would absolutely love that. Thank you.
Great. So, we discussed some impacts on overall sense of worth and sense of self when we experience stressful periods in our lives. When those experiences become overwhelming, we can risk falling into thinking negatively of ourselves. As part of your care, I want to help you recognize when those moments happen and how to address them, both in the moment and after. Have you ever heard of cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT?
Kind of think I have, but I'm not too familiar with it.
That's okay.
Sounds important.
Yes, I think it's a great thing for you, and it's a type of therapeutic intervention that involves taking a closer look at your thoughts and emotions and finding ways to implement self-help strategies so we can create a more positive way of thinking. Learning how your thoughts affect your actions can help you view yourself in a healthier way. So, for example, while the fight with your daughter seems to intensify negative aspects of your situation, we'd instead focus on your abilities to overcome those thoughts. In turn, minimizing those negative thoughts will then lead to a less chance of becoming overwhelmed and anxious. Does that sound good to you?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful, and you are so very welcome. And we also discussed concerns living your life with chronic pain, and I know that's another serious issue for you. I realized it hinders you from doing the things that you used to be able to do, and this caused a lot of anxiety and stress.
Very much so. I'm a giver and I love achieving. So
Yes.
pain really
Interferes.
and backs me up too far.
Yeah, well, I'd like to create a kind of timeline, journaling your experiences as you begin that. I think it's great that you have realistic expectations and understand that you must listen to your body as it heals. I think creating this journal and see how far you've come, it will allow you to be a bit easier on yourself.
I really like that idea. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad to hear it. You're so very welcome. I know we talked about your concerns surrounding financial independence. You worry that you can't live independently if you aren't approved for disability.
That's a huge, huge concern for sure. And I do have some of that paperwork with me today.
Wonderful. Again, thank you so much for doing that. You can leave those with me, and once I go over them, I'll let you know where we are and where we need to go with our next step.
Thank you so much, Miss Sasha.
You are so, so welcome, and I think we've made some great progress. Let's discuss some solid steps to the issues that we've identified.
Sounds fantastic.
Great. So we've identified some of your negative thought patterns brought on by your current situation, which leads to greater anxiety and stress. As our first step, we'll be implementing CBT therapy during our sessions. How does that sound?
I love that idea.
Great. And for our second step, I want to start journaling your experiences with pain as they happen, including all medical appointments and their outcomes. Not only will having a paper trail will assist us when trying to get disability, but it will also allow us to have a more realistic expectations of yourself. Do you feel comfortable with that?
I truly do. Maybe it'll help me find that grace we talked about.
Yes, I think that's a huge step towards healing.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, for our last step, we want to focus on where you are with the disability process. I'll take what I have today, take from you what you have today, and once I find what's needed, I'll let you know. Then we can go from there.
I'm so happy to have someone help through all this. It really can be overwhelming and scary. I really appreciate your help, Sasha, and taking the time to listen. It's nice to talk about things and have a little hope.
And I'm so happy you feel that way, and I'm really looking forward to working with you and continuing your progress. We've covered some great points today, and I commend you for taking the time and to come and see me throughout your journey. I think it shows your drive and commitment, which will also be a guiding factor as you find balance in your life.
I can't say enough. Thank you. You really bring a little light to my day.
And you do mine as well. Thank you.
Aww.
Do you have any questions or anything you'd like to ask me?
I don't think so. I'm feeling pretty good about where we're headed. Yes, that's very important to me. Thank you.
Oh, that makes me feel that's great. And it's been such a pleasure to see you again, and I look forward to our next meeting.
You too, Miss Sasha. Thank you.
Thank
Next
you,
time.
Mary. We'll see you
Bye.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.